All right, good morning. My name is Terry Bates. I'm director of the Cornell Lake Erie Research and Extension Lab, and I also do viticulture research here for the Lake Erie Grape program. So today we're going to talk about shoot thinning in Concord. So here are Concord vines behind me that have been pruned already. So why would we want to do mechanical shoot thinning in Concord grapes or in wine grapes for that matter? It's about crop control in our vineyards and balancing out that crop control across the vineyard. So traditionally or normally, vines are pruned during the winter. So a human actually goes through and prunes off. We have canes, so say there's 500 to 600 buds on a vine, we'll prune them back anywhere depending on your pruning level, 60 to 120 buds. That growers will prune by hand. The advantage to that is during the middle of the winter when a human sees this vine, they will determine both the quantity and quality of buds that they will leave to fruit for the next year. So each one of these shoots will come out, and the shoots will have 2 to 3 clusters on them, and that'll help set the crop for the season. So the crop that we're going to have this year is already sitting out here in these little buds on the vine. So again, the advantage to that is I can determine the number of buds I'm going to have and the quality of the buds, but that it forces me to determine what the crop is in the middle of the winter. And I don't know what the growing season is going to be like in the middle of the winter. I don't know if we're going to have frost. I don't know if we're going to have drought. I don't know if it's going to be an early season or a late season. So what we're trying to do in the Concord industry is to prune for maximum crop potential. And we do that with a machine to reduce labor costs. So we have a machine that goes through, and it pretty much goes through without selecting the buds. It just is the machine doing the pre-pruning with some hand follow-up. So we tend to leave more buds, and as a population, those buds aren't as high a quality. So we have to adjust later on the season. So we get this time of year, we get past the threat of spring frost. We can go out and determine how many shoots are actually coming out on a particular vine, and then we want to adjust down and do that with a machine. We can either do that through shoot thinning this time of year, or we can wait till about a month after bloom where we do a crop estimation, and we can do fruit thinning if we need to bring that crop down. So this time of year, one of the things we're trying to research is going out at this time of year using a sensor to determine what the shoot count is going across the vineyard. So we use an NDVI sensor, and even though these shoots are only a couple inches in size, we can use that sensor to go across the vineyard and determine the density of shoots going across the vineyard. So here's what an NDVI map would look like this time of year. So the different colors giving you a different NDVI signal. We validate these different colors by going out actually counting shoots in these different areas, looking at that mathematical relationship, and then turning that map into a shoot count map. So this is an actual shoot density map of a Concord vineyard in our region. Okay, so once we determine what our shoot counts are spatially going across the vineyard, we can make a management decision on how much shoot thinning, if any, that we want to do in a particular part of a vineyard. So you may want to remove more shoots in the blue area and no shoots in the red area, or whatever your management decision is. We can take a map like this and come up with our management classifications and feed this electronic map into the computer that's in this shoot thinning machine. So everything is geo-referenced through GPS, and it feeds into the computer. The computer controls the hydraulics of these spinners. So this is a shoot thinning machine, and the speed at which this rotates will knock off shoots as it's going down the row. And so we make our management decision, we feed our decision into the computer controls the rate at which this goes, so the grower just has to drive down the row, and these slappers will either speed up or slow down based on what shoot count that we want to have going across the vineyard. For example, in this case, we may want to even out the shoot count across this vineyard, so we will thin the blue and the green and the yellow differently to have a mean average shoot count going across that vineyard. And we will look to see how that affects yield, the rate of fruit ripening, and harvest parameters at the end of the season. If you have any questions about any of this research that's going on, you can leave comments in the comments section on efficientvineyard.com.